Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a full body reformer session using your box. That's all you're gonna need today. That's it, full body with the box. We're just gonna be moving and grooving today. I spent 13 hours in the car yesterday, so I'm just ready to move. So that's what we're doing today. We're just moving, full body. So springs, 2 mediums and a heavy for footwork. I do want it to be a little bit on the heavier side for footwork. So listen to your body, adjust according for your equipment and all the other things. No kneeling today, but if you do need a pad for kneeling, just have it handy. You know, sometimes I just pull stuff out on the fly. You never know. So box, 2 mediums and a heavy for my balanced body. That is 2 reds and a green. Headrest is up in your comfortable position. Foot bar up for footwork. And that's what we're going to get started with. So before we get moving today, just make sure that you are centered on your carriage. Turn your head from right to left, like check all of your angles here and just make sure that you are centered on your reformer. And then feet can just rest anywhere on the foot bar. I want you to reach your arms up to the sky and then punch out through your fists. In fact, let's take your palms and face them in towards one another. And so as you reach out through the fists, I just want you to feel how that opens up your upper back. And maybe you can feel more of your back, more of your ribs into the mat. And now as you inhale, I want you to breathe into those back ribs and maybe your back can sink heavier into the mat. And then just go ahead and exhale out all of your breath. Let's do that again. Breathe into your back, into those back ribs, side ribs. And then exhale, blow out all of the air. Maybe reach the arms a little bit further. Let's do that again. Big breath in. And exhale out. This time when you take that big breath in, feel how the ribs, how your back kind of presses into the mat. Keep that imprinting sensation with your upper back even as you exhale. Blow everything out. Let's do that again. Feels a little bit differently, at least for me anyways. Take a big breath in. And then exhale. Maybe sink deeper through the back ribs all the way out. Take one more here. And exhale, blow it all out, out, out. All right. Take the arms down to the mat. And then see if you can find that same inhale here with the arms down, of that breathing into the back ribs, kind of imprinting that upper back into the mat. And then sink it even heavier as you exhale, exhale, exhale. Another big breath in here. And then blow it out, sink those back ribs, sink the low ribs down. Let's slide onto your toes, hip socket distance apart. If you found that was difficult to like find the rib connection to the mat, take your arms back up to the sky. Like if you found it more difficult with your arms down, take your arms up to the sky for footwork and just really feel that upper back, like back rib sinking down into the mat connection. So all 10 toes are on here. My tailbone is heavy. Go ahead and press the carriage out on that inhale and then exhale, drag it back in. Inhale out, exhale, drag it back in. Maybe you do a few with arms up and then a few with arms down. And as you're breathing into those back ribs, as you're moving the carriage out and in, make sure that you're stable through the pelvis. So even if you've chosen a little bit more of an imprint or neutral today, just pick one and keep it like that. You still have energy out through the crown of your head and down through your tailbone. Let's do 2 more like this. Last one, inhale out. Exhale, pull it back in. Go ahead and take the carriage out. And now stay long in your waist and spine. Push the heels down and under, really giving the back of the legs a good stretch, and then lift the heels back up. Let's inhale as we lower. Can you sink those ribs down? And exhale back up. And I think now I'm going to take my arms up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale back up. I find it's definitely harder with my legs straight out and low like this to really sink the low ribs down. But I'm trying, right? That's all we can do. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Again, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 2 more. Push the heels down and under. We flex, and then we lift and point. We flex, push them under, and lift. Now hold here. Just check some Pilates boxes. Make sure there's no tension in your neck with all these things I'm throwing at you. Lower your right heel under as your left knee bends, and then switch sides. And as always, right, pelvis is stable here. But again, really focus on that upper back and those back ribs really imprinting into the mat. And for some of us, it might feel like we're imprinting. I mean, not imprinting, like rounding a little bit. I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like my upper abs are like, they're trying to come to the party. They're not sure if they want to come, but they're kind of like, okay, I feel like I need to come, but I'm not sure. All that. Keep prancing, keep running. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift both heels, bend the knees, come all the way home. All right, let's come onto the heels. Maybe take them shoulder width distance apart. You can have a slight turn out here. Equal weight right through the center of your heels. Arms can be up or down here, but again, feel that sinking of the ribs down. And now inhale takes you out, and exhale pulls you back in. Inhale out, exhale pull back in. Feet are flexed, of course. And what I'm finding, what I'm struggling with right now is that as my legs go straight, my ribs want to pop. So I'm just seeing what I got to do to get the base of my ribs heavy while keeping my pelvis stable. Oh, it's like whack-a-mole, right? We get one thing sorted, something else comes out of place. But your chest should still be open no matter where your arms are at. Sides of the neck long. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, pull the carriage all the way in. Now, just know if your headrest is up, it's okay. Just know that it's up, all right? You're going to keep your heels in the same position. Tilt your pelvis back and then really get the ribs and the upper back weighted into the mat. And maybe your tailbone can hover just 1 to 2 inches and hold here. All right, just hold, and then just lengthen the waist back down, keeping the imprint of the upper back. Let's do that again. Pelvis tilts back, little tiny tailbone hover and hold here. Notice the imprinting of the upper back. Keep it like that as you roll your pelvis down. If you can, I'm gonna have to take my arms up for this one. Tilt the pelvis back, find a tiny tailbone hover, really strong push out through those fists if you have them up, and then keep the imprint of the back as you melt those last couple vertebrae down. Let's do that again. Pelvis tilts back, tiny tailbone hover, hold here. Press the carriage out, and then drag it back in. Legs may go straight, they may not, that's okay. But again, I want you to really focus on this low rib connection into the mat and it not shifting. Like I can tell if I fully straighten my legs, I'm going to lose it. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, go ahead and drag the carriage all the way home and just roll all the way down. Go ahead and drop your headrest all the way down if it is up. Stay on the heels, stay in that shoulder width distance apart. Once again, arms can be up or down. Take a big expansive breath into those back ribs. And then on your exhale, pelvis tilts back. We start to lift up into bridge. Take it small if you need and pause at the top. Think of your knees reaching past your toes. The sides of your neck are long. And then just round down. Round down. So imprint that upper back and keep it imprinted as you release the tailbone. Let's do that again. Carriage stays pulled into the stopper. We drive the hips up. Find your sits bones here. In other words, like squeeze them together and then roll all the way down. Keep that imprint of the upper back as you release your tailbone. That's harder than what it sounds. Let's do that again. Roll your hips up, up, up. So no matter how high your hips are right now, I still want you to think of kind of a soft chest. So the front of the throat feels open, and then just lengthen as you roll all the way down. Keep the imprint of your upper back as you release the tailbone. All right, I'm gonna probably say it a couple more times. Roll yourself up, pushing right through the center of those heels, and then roll all the way down. Imprint that upper back, release the tailbone. Last one like this. Now keep your hips lifted. All right, so really think of closing your backside to open up your front side. And now press the carriage out and then drag it back in. So whatever connection of your shoulders to the mat you have, or ribs, whatever you have there, try to keep it the same as you go out and in. If your arms are reaching up to the sky, you are pushing those fingertips or fists up. So you're getting a strong protraction. You need this for your plank. And all this like rib imprinting is really going to come in handy when we attempt our teaser on the long box. All right. 2 more here. Close those sits bones. Last one. Pull the carriage in and lengthen. Imprint that upper back. Keep it imprint as you release the tailbone. Oh, but that really feels good though on the back. All right. Let your arms just hang heavy wherever they're at. Just let them relax. Drop your knees off to the right. Look over your left shoulder. Quick twist. And then knees come back and over to the left. You turn to the right. All right. Bring the legs back to center. Go ahead and straighten your legs out over the foot bar. Parallel Pilates V doesn't matter. Go ahead and reach the arms up to the sky. So here, really work your protraction here. So in other words, there's that push out through the fists. You're going to pick your head up, look down at your low belly. Okay. Again, imprint the back, whatever ribs you have on the mat right now, and then roll yourself up, up, up. Reach for your toes, pull your ribs back. Reach for your toes, pull your ribs back, and then roll yourself all the way back, all the way back. Control it, control it, control it. Okay. Now, once again, legs are strong, arms are pushing up. Pick the weight of your head up, look down at your low belly. Pause here. All right. Untuck your pelvis. So keep your tailbone long. So instead of tucking the pelvis, all right, tailbone stays long as you can, and roll yourself all the way up. Reach for your toes, pull the ribs back, drop the head. Keep energy out through your fists as you roll yourself back. Get that low back into the mat first, and then come all the way down. Last one. Pick the head up, look down at your low belly, untuck your pelvis, and roll yourself up. Push out through your fists. This is your teaser right here. Reach for your toes, pull your ribs back. Could you straighten your legs a little bit more? And go ahead and grab onto the foot bar. Nice work. Headrest can come up if you prefer it up. We're going to come down to a light spring and a medium spring. So for my balanced body, that is a red and a blue. Red and a blue. Go ahead and lie back down. So take your hands into your short loops. Punch your fists up to the ceiling. So now my palms are facing my foot bar. All right. And before I lift my legs up, I'm going to find that strong punch and that protraction and that sinking of the ribs down. So I want everybody to find an imprint here. Now, the imprint that I cue is not a tuck of the pelvis to get the low back into the mat. I actually like to find my neutral spine first and then sink my low back into the mat, trying my best to keep my tailbone long. All right. So feel that imprinting of your upper back and those ribs. Bring one leg up in the tabletop, bring the other leg up to meet it, and just hold right here. And that breathing that we did in the beginning of this session, I want you to find it here. So inhale into those back ribs and exhale. Keep sinking those back ribs down, 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 down. Again, inhale and then exhale. Create more space between your fists and your chest. Now, can you keep the shape of your spine and then lower the arms down? Keep the imprint of the upper back. Arms come up and then arms come down. Keep the imprint of the upper back. I took a class the other day and there was a lot of talk of this upper back connection, and it just really changed how everything felt. So kind of playing around with it today through all these moves that we normally do. And I tell you what, I'm feeling my upper abs fire up big time. And it's just a different way to cue things. Now go ahead and lower the arms down. If taking them all the way to the mat means your ribs pop off, then take them up a little bit higher, right? No worries. So can you send both legs out away, keeping the imprint of your upper back, and then pull the legs back in? So don't let the weight shift from those low ribs as your legs stretch away. Reach and then pull them back in. If you want to up the ante, maybe the head, neck, and shoulders pick up. You look down at your low belly and pull back in. 2 more. Stretch away and back in. Last one. Stretch away. Hold here. Zipper up through the inner thighs. Flex your feet. Point your toes. Flex your feet. Point your toes. Lift the legs if you need. So right now, if you have your chest lifted, really focus on those low ribs for 2 and 1. Bend the knees in, lower the head, neck, and shoulders down, arms float back up. That was your little break. Arms are going to come all the way down if they can, right? So once again, check your long imprint and now bend the elbows to 90 and then straighten the arms. Once again, if it's too much to take them all the way down, have them at a little hover. And really breathe into those back ribs. Now as we straighten the arms, just straighten one leg out and back in. Straighten the other leg out and back in. And just keep alternating. So we're adding in a lot of coordination, a lot of movement here, all while keeping those ribs imprinted into the mat. That's what's going to govern how far you can go here. Let's do 3 and 2. Last one. All right. Take the arms down to where you can. Turn the palms facing in towards your body, soft bend to the elbows. Open the arms out without the shoulders creeping up into the blocks, and then hug the arms back in. You want to curl your head, neck, and shoulders up, you're more than welcome. Inhale as you open. Exhale, pull them back in. If you want to add the legs, let's do it. Arms go out, legs stretch away a little bit, and then pull them back in. Keep imprinting those ribs in that upper back. And obviously, if your head is up, it's just those low ribs. Inhale away. Exhale, pull back in. Think space between shoulders and your ears. 2 more. I don't know about you, but my stomach is on fire. Last one. Big opening of the wingspan. Hug everything back in. Lower the head. Arms come up. Feet come down. Okay, that was fun stuff. Make sure your headrest is all the way down, please. Take your feet into the short loops. All right, so make sure that you haven't wiggled off to the right or to the left. You are still centered on your carriage. Arms are anchored down. Find that long, heavy tailbone and that imprint of the spine. Heels together, toes apart. Stretch the legs out and away, and then pull them back in. But once again, right, the focus is those low to upper ribs or mid ribs, whatever you want to call them. And notice I'm having to go a little bit higher with my frog. All right, we're going to go into our short spine. So stretch the legs out, keep the heels together. Legs are going to lift to your 90. And then hips are going to lift. Legs go up and over. Weight goes into your shoulders, not your neck. Carriage is going to try and close. As your knees bend into the blocks, your hips are going to try to lift up a little bit higher. And now pull your heels to your bottom. And then you're going to roll down. Roll down. Tailbone hits. Stretch the legs out and away. Legs come up and over. Peel the spine up off the mat. Reach up into the straps. Bend the knees. Hips get higher. Pull your heels to your bottom. And then roll down. Imprint those back ribs as the tailbone hits. Last one here. Make it count. Up and over. Reach up and into the straps. It's a high rollover. Arms get longer but also heavier. Knees in. Chest away from chin as best you can. Heels to bottom. And then roll all the way down, down, down. Awesome. Let's go ahead and take your feet out of the straps. Let's bring the carriage home. And let's roll you up. We're now going to take off that light spring. So we're left with one medium spring. So for my balanced body, that is a red spring. Your foot bar is going to come all the way down, and we're going to place our long box on. So before we climb on, I want everybody to imagine that you have hot pants on in the front, obviously, in the front and the back. You have hot pants on. So this is about, if I was wearing hot pants, right, this is where they would hit me, thereabouts. So this is kind of where I want the edge of the box to hit you. This is kind of where we're going to start. If you need to move up or down, please do. Okay, so I'm going to climb on. Hands are going to come onto the rails. I'm going to shimmy forward a little bit. And that feels about right for now. Okay, so hands are underneath my shoulders-ish, forward. You know, let's just play around with it. All right, so I'm going to start with my legs zipped up together. If it bothers your low back, you can always separate them a little bit. So legs are zipped up. I'm in a tiny bit of a turnout here. Okay, I'm going to press my legs down into the box. In fact, think of pressing your shins into the box. And I'm going to try to lift up through the upper abs. My tailbone is going to lengthen, and maybe it feels like it's slightly curling under. Find that space between your hands and your chest. So we've done this. We did this for footwork. We did this with arms and straps. And I just want you to hold here. Keep holding. Your pelvis and your upper thighs might lift a little bit. That's okay, right? Just hold, 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 and then just relax, right? Just kind of sag. All right, let's do that again. Press into the shins. Feel the upper and the lower abs lift. Push into your hands. Find that protraction here. Okay, I want you to keep your legs down, and now just bend your elbows, lower your chest down, and then press yourself back up. Try to make it more of a narrow push-up as opposed to like elbows out wide. Okay, let's do that again. Elbows point back, stay lifted up through the stomach, and then press yourself up. All right, one more time. Elbows angle back, collarbones open, and then press up. All right, you know where this is going, okay? So before we bend the elbows, I want you to try to lift the legs now without dumping into the low back, okay? Now we bend the elbows, legs continue to lift, chest comes forward, and then press yourself back up, up, up into that kind of rounded pelvis lifting position, all right? Now my legs are gonna lift, elbows bend. So now I'm coming into more of a flat back, maybe into a little extension. Legs come down, chest lifts, back rounds a little bit, push into those shins. I flatten the back out, legs lift, elbows bend, chest comes forward, and then press yourself up, round, lift up through the upper abs, pull those shoulder blades away from one another, Last one. Flatten the back out. Legs lift. Chest pushes forward. Push into those hands. Lift up through the stomach. Push into the shins. Maybe even your knees hover this time. And then just relax all the way down. All right. Let's shimmy you back now to where the middle of your chest is in line with the edge of the box. Okay. If you wanted to make things maybe a little bit harder, you could scoot further back to where maybe your shoulders are in line with the edge of the box. You do you. I'm going to choke up. Hands are just above my buckles here. I'm going to drop my head down. My legs are still trying to zipper up. And I'm going to think of pushing my shins down just like they did into that box. Feel how that kind of lifts up through your stomach. Keep that support. And now with strong, straight arms, pull the arms down and back. Do not get any heavier into your low abdomen. And now push your chest forward. Maybe your chest can lift up without getting any heavier into your low belly. Take your gaze back down and then lower everything all the way down. Think of rounding up and over the box. Again, arms pull down and back. Chest pushes forward first. Think length over height. Then maybe your chest lifts. Hug your arms into your center line, y'all. Hug them in. You're a penguin. You're in a tight little space. And then everything lowers all the way down. Last one here. Arms pull down and back. Chest pushes forward, then up. Stay light in that low belly. And then everything lowers all the way down. Pull straps 2 or T-pull, however you refer to it. I always have to get my mind around this one. It's a tough one. Legs are still zipped up. Shins are pushing down into that imaginary box. Arms go out to a high letter T hold here. Can you open up your wingspan a little bit more so there's no tension in your neck? And now drag your knuckles across the room. Pull them wide and back to your hips. Chest pushes forward, then up. Stay light in your belly, y'all. Arms lift out to the sides. Chest comes down, round up and over the box. Again, pull wide and back. Chest pushes forward. Reach, reach. Turn those palms facing down. Arms lift, up, out, wide. This move makes my voice crack. Up wide to the sides of the room. Push the chest forward, y'all. Push it forward. And then lift out wide. Lower everything down. Whew, hang up your straps. Let's go ahead and come off the box. We're going to stay on this one medium spring for backstroke. It's going to be tougher, so do what you can, all right? So I'm going to grab onto my short loops. I won't get in the fancy way today. I'm going to shift my hips forward to the edge of the box. Hands into the short loops. All right, so just know there's no head or neck support. So do what you got to do. I'm going to lie back. I'm going to bring my fists together up over my chest or face. Knees are in. First, I'm just going to let my head hang because I think it feels good. All right, I'm going to think of that tailbone going long and heavy. Legs are zipped up. All right, now curl your head, neck, and shoulders up off of the box. Find that heavy imprint of your low back and those low ribs. Arms and legs are going to stretch up to the sky. They're going to open. They're going to circle around. Reach your hands above your thighs. Hold here. Get the weight back into those low ribs. And then bend everything back in. Keep the tailbone heavy. Arms and legs up on 1. They open on 2. They circle around. Reach for your knees. Reach for your knees. And pull everything back in. One more. Arms and legs up on 1. Open on 2. Circle everything around. Reach, reach, reach. Try to keep the chest lifted as everything bends all the way back in. And just relax everything down. Okay, so not my smoothest transition here, but I'm going to ask everybody to shimmy back a little bit. So I just don't want your tailbone at the very, very edge. So if you're not, you don't have to shimmy too far. I'm going to take my hands into the long loops. I'm going to keep my knees bent, or I'm going to start with my knees bent for teaser. Arms are out to the side. Just like our pull straps too, reach your hands across the room. All right. And now start to find spring tension. Reach your hands forward to your hips and hold here. So now my head, neck, and shoulders are up. I am pushing down into those low ribs. I'm going to start to send the legs away. Keep reaching into the straps. Keep reaching into the straps and roll up. Reach for your toes. Pull your ribs back. We did this on the foot bar, remember? Now keep reaching for your toes as the pelvis rolls back. Knees come into your chest. Arms go out to the side. Now, if you found that too easy, take your legs down, drape them over the foot bar to start, okay? I'll try one like that. I'll probably go back to knees bent, okay? So remember all of that like back rib, upper back imprinting that we've been doing, all right? All right, channel that. Arms reach forward, pass through that low 100, reach for your toes, pull the ribs back, keep the neck long, pelvis rolls away from thighs, control it, control it, control it. Find that long imprint and lower everything down. You can still keep the knees bent, no worries. Again, arms scoop, reach forward, roll up. Roll up. Every day is different with these things. All right, now hold up here in your teaser. Lower the arms down and reach them forward. Pull back through the ribs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, reach them forward. Can you turn the palms facing up to the sky? 2 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, reach them forward. Inhale, lower. Exhale, reach them forward. Control it as you come all the way down. All the way down. All the way down. Awesome. Hang up your straps. Try to get them on the pegs if you can. And let's roll you up. And now we're going to be seated on the box. We're going to play around with a little horseback today. So my feet are on what little bit of carriage I have here. And just make sure that you feel supported by the box, right? I'm not all the way back, not all the way forward. I'm going to grab onto my long loops. Before we get into horseback, we're going to do some upper body stuff. So I'm going to think of pushing down through my feet. I'm going to hug my heels and my legs into the box. So my legs are anchored. They're not going anywhere. All right. I'm going to take my arms out to kind of goalpost-ish arms. My palms are facing forward. And I've got a tiny bit of a lean to my upper body. I'm going to punch kind of out and up, keeping the sides of the neck long. And I'm going to think of pulling down, like I'm doing lat pull downs at the gym. Arms push up, ribs kind of pull back. Think like you've got that mat behind you. So reach out and away. Think of those upper ribs, the ribs imprinting into the mat. Reach out and pull down to grow taller. If your shoulders allow for it, bring the elbows down towards your hips and your hands to your shoulders. Otherwise, just keep your range at a safe place. I like to think of this as like a wide shave. Inhale as you punch up. Exhale, pull down. Collarbone opens. Neckline gets longer. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull down, down, down. Last one. Push those ribs back into that imaginary mat. Exhale, pull down, down, down. Awesome. All right, let's turn the palms facing up to the sky. A little bit more of like a serve a tray action here, okay? Keep the legs energized. Now just reach the arms out in front of you and pull back through the ribs, just like you did for teaser. Tuck the pelvis under, push into your feet, and then stack your spine up tall, elbows bend. You come back to that flat back. Arms reach forward, spine rounds, pull the belly back, pull the ribs back, elbows bend, you stack up tall, tall, tall. Starting to feel those shoulders. Reach forward, space between fists and your ribs or fists and your chest. Forgot all my body parts. Woo. All right, shake it out. All right, so now when we reach the arms forward, okay, I want you to still stay rounded, but kind of lean forward. Push into your feet, almost as if your hips were gonna come up. And then we stack up tall, elbows bend back in, all right? Arms reach forward, push into your feet like you were just gonna stand right up. and then pull it all the way back in. That might mean you have to move the feet forward and back, okay? It's not happening for me today. That's okay. Arms reach forward, round, push into your feet like you could just stand right up, and then pull it all the way back in. All right. Now we're going to try it with straight legs. So I know that's not the most comfortable depending on your body and your box. So you can always go back to that bent knee position. But I'm going to start with my feet flexed, okay? Legs are straight out. I'm going to try to keep my feet in this line, meaning I'm going to try not to let them drop down. Try being the key word, all right? Hug the inner thighs into the box, all right? Now, reach the arms forward, round, pitch forward. Don't let those heels drop. Don't let those heels drop. And then bend the elbows all the way back in. Harder, right? Arms reach forward, round. Try to lift those heels up more. And then bend everything back in. All right. Arms reach forward. Pull back through the stomach and the ribs. Try to lift the heels up. And then bend back in. Eventually the pelvis will lift without the feet dropping. 2 more here, y'all. You got this. How about those shoulders? Round, lift the heels, lean forward, and then pull everything back in. Last one. Round, round, tuck the pelvis, lift the heels, and pull everything back in. Nice work. Are you sweating yet? I'm sweating. Hang up your straps. All right, now we're going to do some hamstring curls. So, feet are going to go into your short loops. You're going to come lying down on the box, head towards your foot bar. However you want to get into these. Some people like to sit on the box. I like to do it. I place my feet into the straps or into one strap, and then I climb on. This is me. Either way, just meet me onto the box. Feet into those short loops. All right. So kind of like our pull straps, the middle of my chest is in line with the box. Again, feel free to readjust. I'm going to take my hands. I'm going to hug in on the box. All right. So extend the legs out to where the carriage or the springs close, and then hold here. Try to find hip socket distance apart. Open up your pelvis into the box, but stay lifted up through your low abdomen. Okay. Now, can you lift the thighs up a little bit here? Just a little bit. Keep the lift of the thighs, and now pull your toes to your seat and hold here. Hold here, hold here. And then slowly extend back out. If at any point you need more tension, less tension, right, you do you. Okay, stay lifted up through the low belly. Pull the toes up and over towards your seat and hold here. Hold. Could you try to lift your thighs up off the box a little bit more? And then extend back out. Ooh. Hey, boo-boo. Again, toes go up and over. And then extend back out. Stay light and lifted up through the thighs. 2 more. You can always take your hands onto the frame and give yourself a little assist. And then extend back out. Again. Holy cannoli. Find that kind of big toe, inner ankle bone inside of the knee connection all the way up through the inner thigh. Now hold here with your heels pulling into your seat. Can you keep your left foot pulling into your seat as your right leg extends out? And then pull it back in. So try not to let the carriage move at all. Ooh, left leg extends out. And then pull it back in. So it's a really smooth, like butter transition. But I tell you right now, my spring down here is shaking. It looks like a guitar string or something that somebody flicked. It's shaking. Whew. Keep driving your pubic bone into the box. And think of that big toe coming right to the center of your booty. Ooh, slow and controlled wins the race on these as fast as you want to go. Tailbone long. Just do 2 more here. You got this. 2 more. Last one. And now let's do 5 full range, or 5 to close springs, and then 4 or 5 all the way to your seat. Forgive me, I'm like overwhelmed with all the things happening right now. Can you lift up through the thighs and the knees a little bit more? I think that's 3. Whew, full range, y'all. And 2. Last one. You got this. Up and over, up and over. Extend back out. Kick off those straps. Kick them off. Kick those stupid straps off. Oh, okay. Now we can come off this box. Let's do it. All right. Change it to a short box. If you're on the taller side, maybe 5'7" or taller, take your box in between your pegs and the shoulder box if you have that option. All right. And now let's go ahead and have a seat on your box. Hook your feet underneath the safety strap. All right. Try to find a position where you're on the box and you have a soft bend to the knee, right? We're not quite at 90 degrees here. You have a soft bend. The strap is taut, so the feet are pulling apart and your feet are flexed here, right? I want you to take your hands hand over hand here and place it on your low abdomen, okay? So think of your heels like they're pushing into something. Depending on your carriage, you might be able to kind of dig the heels in. Keep that, find it, okay? And then from here, roll your pelvis back. Keep the energy out through your heels and then hold here. Imagine a mat was behind you. Imagine. Can you pull your low back and those low ribs, push them into that imaginary mat more, and then roll yourself up, up, up. Let's do that again. Pull that strap apart. Tuck the pelvis, tuck the pelvis. Get those low ribs into that imaginary mat. Even if you're not in line with your box, it's okay. And then roll yourself up, 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 up. It's that same push out. In fact, let's do that. Take your hands now, straight arms out in front of you. Punch out through your fist, find strong protraction. Now roll yourself back, back, back. Create as much space between your pinkies and your chest and your ribs as you can. And then roll yourself up, keeping the space. Stack your spine up tall. Let's do that again. Roll yourself back. Think of imprinting those ribs into the mat, just like we did in the beginning. And then roll yourself up, pull your belly back, stack the spine all the way up. Last one. Round back, energy out through your heels, and then roll yourself up, up, up. All right. Now we're going to take palm over palm behind your head, behind kind of the base of your skull. If this is not available to you, if you're too much into your neck, you can always take your hands to your shoulders, or you can do, I don't know if this is a mummy position. I don't know what this is, but just cross your chest. All right. So you do you. Head pushes back and up and into your hands. If you have your hands back there, elbows are slightly forward. Now, wherever you have your elbows, think of them kind of reaching wide and forward. So again, create that protraction. I know so many details, so many details. Keep your back flat to now hinge back, and then lift yourself right back up. One more like that. Hinge back, and then lift right back up. All right, everybody meet me here at the top. Think like you're lying on the mat again, on the carriage. Can you press your upper back and those ribs into the mat a little bit more? My elbows had to come some more forward. That's okay. Keep that imprint of those ribs and now hinge back, and then lift right back up. Lean back, and come all the way up. Now we're going to add a twist to this. Keep the imprint of those ribs, twist to the right. Keep the elbows stretching kind of out and up, and then back to center. Lift and twist to the left. Pull back through the ribs, and back to center. Now lift and twist to the right. Keep stretching the triceps up. Now hold in your twist. Instead of going straight back, I want you to angle your body to the right. So I'm going to go to the right, stretch over to the right, and then come right back up. Lift and twist to the left. I'm going to go out to the left, like I'm reaching past the carriage even. and then lift right back up. Twist to the right. Keep anchoring down through the left hip, and then back up. Ooh, getting a little stretch out of this one. Lean, 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 and then back up. One more time each side. Lean, and then all the way back up. Last one. Keep the strap nice and tight, energy out through the heels, and then come all the way up. Find center, and then lower the arms down. All right, keep your left foot under. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to hook my arm, my forearm around my right thigh, right? It's not going to look the best, but you know, it's going to feel really good. It's going to feel like a struggle bus, but it's going to feel good. So I'm just holding, my left hand is just holding onto my right wrist. So I'm going to sit up tall and I'm going to pitch more forward than what I think. So this is probably straight for me, but I feel like I'm going to fall forward. That's where I want you to be. Okay. Feel equal weight down through your pelvis and your hips, pelvis, hips, whatever. And now lift up taller, and now try to straighten your right leg out and then bend it back in. Do not let anything else shift. In fact, you get taller, chest opens more as you try to straighten the leg. For 2. Last one. And now straighten the leg out, climb up the leg to wherever you can, straighten the leg. Drop your head, round your spine. Equal weight through the hips, even here. Left foot is flexed, rock yourself back. Lift the leg up into the strap. Plant your right foot over your right hip. Walk down the leg. Think of those ribs imprinting into that mat. And then walk up. Pull the belly back away from that right thigh. We climb down. Keep the right toes reaching up to the sky. And we climb up, up, up. Last one. We climb up. And now take your left hand around the side of your right foot. And now take your right hand onto the frame and twist. Push that right heel up to the sky and sink your right hip into the box. Oh, my chickens. That's tight. And now carefully rock yourself up. All right. Back to this like tall, somewhat flat back. And now reach your right arm back behind you, but don't lean back this time. Keep working that kind of pitch forward, if you will. And then back to center. All right. Right foot under. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Square yourself off. Left forearm under. I'm going to pitch forward. And I'm going to think of that. You know what? And on this side, just because I'm tighter, I'm going to almost think of my left hip going a hair heavier than my right hip. That's probably even for me. But my ribs lifting up. And now try to straighten the left leg out and then bend it. Crown of the head is just pushing up to the sky. Try not to let your back cave or your spine round. I know it's going to make the leg, it's going to allow the leg to go straighter, but you're going to get stretches in places that, we all need. Kick the leg out, climb up the leg, straighten the leg if you're not already there. Round your spine, equal weight into those hips, and we rock back. Keep that strap taut, plant the left foot over the hip, and now we walk down. All this is just a big old crunch. That's all it is. We climb up, pull the ribs back. Pull the ribs back, create space between chest and thigh, and climb down. Oh, I am at an angle here. Climb up, climb down. If your low back is into the mat, keep it into the mat on this next one. Keep the low back into the mat as you try to lift your chest up to your shin and then back down. Last one. We climb up, take the right hand to the outside of the left foot, left hand comes down. Lots of rights and lefts. I'm hoping I'm saying this right. And twist. Left heel up to the sky, left hip bolting into the box, and then carefully rock yourself up. Oh, I just got a big old pop there. Left arm reaches back. And I'm thinking of spiraling up off of my hips. Look back at that left hand and then come back to center. Take the foot down. That was magical. That was magical right there. Take off the strap. Place your foot bar back up. Okay. So I'm going to come in kind of a Z-sit, pigeon sit position. Oh, you know what? If your box is over the pegs and the shoulder blocks, place them in front of the shoulder blocks here, and then let's have a seat. If having the leg up here in this pigeon position doesn't work for you, you can always have the leg hanging off, okay? So my left hip is kind of, my left butt cheek's kind of hanging off the box. I've done this in a couple other classes, so forgive me if you're like, okay, I already know what we're doing. But for those of you that haven't, right leg is on, left leg or left hip is off, all right? I'm going to think of pushing down through my left shin, and my right knee is going to stay pushing down into the box, okay? So my right arm is going to come up. My left hand is going to find the foot bar. I'm going to tip over. And then if I can press the carriage out, I'm going to, right? I'm moving like an inch here. And I'm just going to hold, and I'm going to find a lovely stretch. Keep anchoring down through that right hip and lifting up through the ribs. And just carefully bring the carriage home. My right hand is now going to find the shoulder block, or maybe even the headrest. I'll see. Left arm is going to come up and over. Here's where you push into the right hand and the left shin. Up and over. And then windmill the arms, left hand down, right arm up and over. Open up your chest. And then come back to center. Other side. Now, something I'm just already catching myself with here. Can you find that same kind of ribs in, sinking those ribs into that imaginary mat? I can already feel a different stretch. Up and over. So chest is open, but those ribs are kind of pulling back. At least that's what it feels like to me. Push into that left shin. Awesome. And go ahead and come all the way up. Let's do the other side. So if you're one that's having that left leg hang down, just make sure it's hugging into the box so the legs are active. That'll help anchor the hips and deepen that stretch. Right hand down, left arm up and over. Again, chest open, ribs in. Left hand down. I'll try the headrest this time. Neckline is nice and long. Right hand up and over. Both hips are reaching down. Breathe into those tight places. Up and over, up and over. Last one here. Right hand down, left arm up and over. Try to create as much space between those left fingertips and that left hip as you possibly can. And then go ahead, windmill the arms up. I think we're done for today. Oh my goodness. I think, I had other stuff planned, but I got a good sweat. I feel so much better. I feel opened up, but I feel like I got a good workout today. And I really hope that's how you feel right now. So I appreciate you being here. Only one more session before the new year. Kind of crazy. Thanks, y'all.